What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy AyeThatsAaron, and we're back here with another Bleach Rebirth of Souls video. And today we're going to be talking about the story mode and everything that has been talked about surrounding it, and of course how the game is going to be overall whenever the game comes out. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video for real. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, please just let your boy Aaron know. Without further ado, let's get in the video, shall we? So ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been a while since we talked about Bleach on the channel, because honestly, mainly we were getting a lot of character breakdowns, and I just didn't want to flood the channel with a bunch of character breakdowns from the characters coming out for the game. But honestly, at the same time, I have been keeping up with each character they have revealed, and I'm really liking it so far. If you guys did not know, they have currently revealed 24 characters in the game, and I'm happy about that because it looks like we're going to get ourselves a very decent, meaty sized roster. Okay, so I'm happy that we're getting ourselves a decent sized roster. And if you guys did not know, if you pre-order the game as well, we get ourselves a lot of extra content, you know, the season passes, the whole 9 yards, plus the 1,000-year war arc costumes for some characters. So I think that's cool as well. But the main thing I want to talk about in today's video, which isn't going to be too long, is going to be the story mode live stream that happened on Thursday, and a lot of people what people have been saying about it overall. So ladies and gentlemen, if you guys did not know, on January 9th, I would say, they had a story mode live stream for Bleach Rebirth of Souls, where the voice actor for, I think, Ichigo played the first part of the story mode, and so they were able to stream that, and then we were able to see how it was going to be. So basically, we got to see the story mode all the way up to whenever Ichigo got his powers after he slayed that first what's the name of the enemies in their story? Hollow. Oh, I'm so sorry I messed it up. Until he slayed his first Hollow. And honestly, there was a lot of stuff that we could gather, which I want to talk about, really. First things first, this whole story mode is going to go all the way throughout Aizen's defeat, so that means we're going to get ourselves a decent amount of content, right? So we're going to be able to sit there, we're going to get the Soul Society arc, and then we're going to get to the, basically the Arrancar arc and the whole 9 yards, you know what I'm saying, up to Aizen's defeat, which I think is pretty cool, and it'll leave some leeway for future content in the future if they decide to do any DLCs and stuff like that to expand upon the story. So we get ourselves a decent amount of characters when it comes to that. We got a lot of the captains. We're able to get ourselves a lot of the main characters that we were interested in seeing, and they all have very interesting mechanics, which I really like. Now in the story mode, you are able to see the 3D models and how the story mode is going to go. So basically, the story mode is going to be 3D modeled, the whole 9 yards, voice acted in all, classic story mode, which is going to retell the story of Bleach. And the reason I'm happy about that is because anime games of recent, we have gotten a lot of slideshow content, right? It feels like a lot of anime games, whenever they make the anime games, they're so more focused to online and all that other stuff that we have not gotten ourselves a 3D rendered iteration of the characters. For example, Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash, the first few seconds of the story is 3D modeled rendered Itadori, but then it cuts to just straight up slideshows, right? Same thing with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. We were able to see a decent amount of stuff, but after a certain point, it wasn't animated. It was all slideshows as well. And even for Naruto Storm Connections, unless you look at the special story that included Boruto, that also was slideshows as well, or mainly boss battles. So we weren't really getting ourselves a 3D rendering of the retellings that we like so much. So Bleach Rebirth of Souls looks like they are actually going to do the whole thing through and through 3D model rendering, which I honestly love. Because maybe we could start going back to that whenever it comes to these kind of anime games. Me personally. Now, during that last year when we were able to see what how it's going to look like in the story mode and all that jazz, people were not happy with how it was looking story mode wise. For example, people did not like how the shadows were looking on some of the characters. So the shadows on characters that were standing, they were more blocky, looked like they were not even finished being rendered. The same thing with the background whenever it came to like the set designs in the like the wallpapers in the background. People said that did not look real as well. They weren't a big fan of how choppy it looked. They also complained about how the models of said characters were, if you can tell, there are some anime games, they do render the 3D models from scratch sometimes, and then there's other times where they do this thing, I think it's called rotoscoping. So for example, in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, if you see the characters in the lobby in the main lobby of the game, they move a specific way that you're just like, okay, that looks very interesting. That's a very interesting way that they're moving. Same thing whenever you play the story mode. that is a completely different way that they are modeled and rendered versus, like, let's say in Naruto Storm 3 or Storm 2 when it came to the boss battles and all that other stuff, right? I noticed anime games have been kind of going more towards that Sparking Zero kind of vibe, which is why you see that kind of similarities in Bleach Rebirth of Souls. But honestly, I'm not going to complain about it because of the fact of, you know what, we're starting to get more anime games that are going to go more of the 3D rendered route than having to deal with slideshows over and over and over again. I rather take what we can get because I do not want the slideshows. And my problem is, it's not like they're stylized for the thing. It's not like they're being stylized for the games. It's not like these are unique slideshows. No, they literally go to the anime, screenshot a scene from the anime, and add layers upon layers upon layers of text. So I'm happy that we're finally getting ourselves 3D rendered characters once again for our story mode. So I have no gripes on it. And finally, people are concerned that because of the way that the story mode looks, the 3D models and all that stuff, is going to negatively affect the quality of the game whenever it's upon release. Because if you guys did not know, the game comes out in 2 months. It comes out in March. I can't remember the specific day off the top of my head. And so people are kind of worried that because we're able to see these things in action, it's going to be another Sparking Zero situation. If you guys did not know, because of Sparking Zero focused more on like their trailers, the cinematics and stuff like that, the gameplay tended to be a little choppy, the story mode tended to be underwhelming, so on and so forth. Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash, people already expected that to be a flop anyway. So anything that came after that, they didn't care about. They literally didn't care about. And so the main concern is that whenever we sit here and get said game, that people are afraid that it's gonna be lackluster because they've only been focusing on the visuals and, you know, somewhat of the story and, you know, obviously combat, right? Combat has had its complaints too because they said it looks slow and stiff, but I think honestly we just haven't seen high level gameplay when it comes to it. But overall, I think based off of the first impressions of us having the Bleach story mode, I think we're in good hands. I'm not going to say it's perfect. I'm not going to say it's the best thing known to man, but I do think that it's the first step in the right direction. We've been getting ourselves character trailers for the past damn near year, which I have enjoyed. We have ourselves a nice character select screen that has its own style, its own flair, its own personality that we have not gotten when it comes to these other anime games. We even have ourselves a fully rendered story mode that is something that we have not had in a long time. And all these characters look nicely fleshed out in this game, and the combat system also looks good, and it looks like it's going to be able to be handled in the competitive sort of sense as well. These anime games, I will admit, if they're lacking in some aspects, the competitive scene can thrive. And honestly, it looks like they are doing well when it comes to that as well. So I think we're going to be in great hands. And this seems like the kind of game that's going to be, hopefully, regularly updated so we could be able to have ourselves a great quality of life as time goes on without people exploiting glitches or bugs or the game just overall breaking on us. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to share my 2 thoughts when it comes to Bleach Rebirth of Souls. I want to know your guys' thoughts on looking at the story mode. I want to know if you guys are disappointed, if you guys are excited, if you wanted to change anything. Please just let your boy Aaron know because I'm genuinely curious. And until next time, peace out.
Hey, where's real?